All right, honors math, we're going to do move on now from lesson 1 and all those individual parts, and now we're moving on to lesson 2, and this is part A. And what we're going to be focusing on throughout this lesson is estimating quotients. If you're not remembering what that word quotients means, it is the answer to a division problem. So we're going to estimate quotients, and we're going to be rounding decimals to get a good estimate. All right, so here we have the main idea, of course. Why would we want to estimate a quotient for decimals? And like we did with multiplication, we want to check the reasonableness of the results. Similar to the video yesterday that I was doing for you, and when I came to the part where all of a sudden I stopped and I looked at my product and I thought, something is off. And then I went back and checked my work and I realized I made a simple mistake because I estimate in my head while I'm multiplying. And the same with when you're dividing. You just want to make sure that you're about in the ballpark of where you should be. So let's look at an example here and practice together and so that you're ready for tomorrow. All right, Latasha and her two friends ordered a pizza from their favorite restaurant for $8.75. The three friends decided to split the cost equally. Now, as more and more you grow up and you get into high school, this is such a common thing that you're going to find that you're doing. So you go out to the restaurant with your friends, you get the bill, and then you decide to split it and share it because maybe you ordered a pizza together or whatever the case may be. So what we do is we estimate and figure about how much money we owe. So the first thing is $8.75 closer to $8 or $9? So let's look at that, $8.75. We're going to round to the nearest whole number. So that's the ones place. And we're going to circle the number to the right, which is going to be telling us what to do. So if number 5 or more, let it soar. 4 or less, let that number rest. So it either is going to soar to 9 or it's going to rest at 8. So 7, of course, is 5 or more. We're going to let it soar. And $8.75 is about $9. Okay. If you're thinking about money, that way you have $8.75. We know that $8.50 is the halfway point. So we're already past the halfway point at $8.75. So we're closer to $9 than we are to $8. Using that understanding, we'll go to the next one. How could you determine about how much each person will pay for the pizza? All right, so in a situation like this, when the dividend is $8.75, that's the number that's going to be divided. And we have 3 people, which is our divisor. We want to figure out about how much each person is going to pay. When we talk about that, when we're estimating quotients, it's a little bit different than estimating for the product, because in estimating of the product, you don't really have to think about what we call compatible numbers. We don't want to deal with another decimal, or we don't want a fraction, and we don't want a remainder when we're doing estimation of decimals. So compatible numbers are numbers that can be easily divided mentally. So you think of your multiplication chart and all the products in the center when you're dividing those up by a factor, so that you can easily do it in your head, kind of like a time test in division, so that you can burn through those fast. Those are compatible numbers. And so when we're looking at splitting up 875 and we round it to 9, we know that 9 is a compatible number with 3, the divisor 3, because we can, in our head, take 9 and mentally divide it between 3 people. All right, so 9 divided by 3, I'm looking right here, guys, is 3. So each person will pay about $3. If, per se, that it was $8.25, cost us $8.25, and we had 3 people, we know that we would have that $8.25 is going to be about $8, but that's not compatible with 3. We don't have anything times 3 that we can get to 8. So we would round it to 9 anyway to divide that by 3 to get about $3. Okay, even when we talk about money, when we're dividing with money, if we have change involved, it's better to go up than it is to go down, because when you go down, that means you're not going to have as much money. But when you go up and you're rounding, when you're out with friends, you're definitely going to have more than enough money um, to pay for your meal. So that also kind of applies when you're talking about money. So let's move down here and look at a couple more. I'm going to bring the screen down. Always not cooperating. All right, here we go. So I'm going to make this just a little bit bigger. And excuse me, still fighting this cold. All right, so we just talked about this part up here. So let's go down and check our progress. So we have something like 49 and 3/10 dividing that by 7. Okay, so 49 and 3/10, and that's going to be divided by 7. I'm going to make it just even a little bit bigger. The first thing that we want to do is we want to round. We want to get rid of the decimal, but we also want to make sure that it's compatible with 7. So we're thinking of our 7s, and 7 times a number to get close to 49. And we can use this 2 and 3 or less. We're going to let 49 rest at 49. We know that 49 is divisible by 7, and 49 divided by 7 is 7. So our quotient is 7 for that equation. All right, so as much as we are rounding, this is where it gets kind of tricky, and we'll kind of discuss this tomorrow. We're also looking for compatibility. So making sure that we can easily mentally divide that number up. Going over to the next one. So we have 98 and 1/10. Sorry, I put the decimal in the wrong spot. And we're dividing that by 25. Now remember, while you're looking through math curriculums, you're going to have so many ways that they're going to show you division. So you have this division sign, and then you have this way of showing division, and then you also have kind of looking like a fraction, that being division. All right, so if we are going to round 98 divided by 1, or 98 and 1/10, and go to the closest whole number, we know that we're going to look at the 1, and 1 is going to tell 98 to rest. So 98 is the closest whole number. So, but with division now, we have to check, is that compatible with 25? Can I easily in my head take 98 and divide it by 25? Now, maybe you're better at this than I am, but that is not something that I can easily do. So I'm going to find the closest number to 98 that easily divides by 25. And I'm thinking of quarters or dollars. So to get a dollar, you can divide that up by quarters. So 100 divided by 25 is 4. Remember, estimation is we're looking for about. And I don't want you to get totally confused here with division, but we want to make sure that we're close to what our quotient could be, but also that we're making it the work be compatible. Okay, moving down here, here's another example. We have 32 divided by 3 and 9/10. 3 and 9/10 rounded is going to be 4. I know that 32 is compatible with 4. 32 divided by 4 is 8. So it's about 8. Remember, we make sure that we say that about because it's not exact. It's an estimate. Okay, we're going to finish off with these two practices down here, and then we'll be ready to practice together tomorrow. So we have 54, and 54, we're going to divide that by 9 and 1600ths. 9 and 1600ths, I can do my rounding, and I can round 9. The 1 is telling me to rest, so 54 divided by 9. Next thing I want to check, is that compatible? Yes, it is compatible. I know that 54 divided by 9, one of my basic math facts, is 6. So it's about 6. Moving on to the next one. 99 divided by 10 and 7500ths. I'm going to round 10 and 7500ths to the next whole number. Oh goodness, let's just circle the right thing here. Here we go. We're going to underline the whole number, circle the 7. 7 or more, let it soar to 11. Okay, so now we have 99 divided by 11. Is that compatible? Yes, I know that I can divide and end up with 9, so about 9. So first, rounding to the nearest whole number. Second, making sure that it's compatible. So first, round. Second, check compatibility. I'm just going to write compatible. And then third, at that point, you decide if it's not compatible, what is the nearest compatible number. We don't want estimation to be a crazy thing for you. I want it to be something that you're constantly doing when you're multiplying, when you're adding, when you're subtracting, and when you're dividing, to check to make sure that your answer, your sum, your difference, product, or quotient is reasonable, if it's about right, because that's going to tell you right off the bat if you made a simple error in your work. All right, thank you for watching the video. Have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow.